good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're seeing this. Thank you for tuning in to listen our panel of discussion for the final project of global culture. In today's topic is cultural acceptance in the world. And today we are with Bruno, we are with Luis,
Hi.
and we also are with Ariadna, which she isn't with us here, but she will make an appearance, and me, Diego. Now we shall start.
Hi, I am Ariadna, and I just want to say that every time we meet anyone, and although we don't know it immediately sometimes, it's clear that exists a clash of different cultures, from accent, skin color, language, or even physical features. What we know as culture can be defined as a type of code to follow that qualifies what it's a good or bad thing to do in a society, or even what we must do at certain times. That is why there are many types of culture, and it's important to try to understand all of them, or at least respect them, because it's about the reality of each person. In Mexico exists a multiculturalism that many of us are proud of. However, not many people respect the cultures of others or their traditions. Some of them think selfishly and maintain arguments such as, my culture is better than yours, which is a pity. We must be proud of our culture, of course, but we must also identify if what we do or what we say hurts others directly, to stop repeating it and be a good person or better than others or than ourselves. And it's all for now. Thanks.
Well, it is very important to all of us that we remember that our culture isn't the most important one. Sure, we can be proud of what we are and what we have achieved, but in the end, remember that as a community, we need to respect each other's cultures. Many people will not tolerate these types of behaviors. They only respect their own, which is bad if we want to live in equality and peace. So we need to start working together and to make changes. And you may be wondering, what type of changes we can make? Well, we're here to give you some examples. For starters, anyone can become the change that would lead us to a better future. It could be start by giving an example of change to your friends or family, because you may never know if the example you're giving can start to make a change in the vision of cultural acceptance. And now I want to point out that the video that we saw for this final project surprised me, and how the lady was talking surprised her too, to see the difference of culture, because one thing is just read about it and inform about it, but now you start to see how cultures are as different as they portray themselves. Like, for example, as a little kid, I always thought that United Kingdom, they were always drinking tea, which in reality that isn't the case. But well, what I'm getting with this is that it is important to open with the culture you represent and start informing people what your culture really is, which is which gives a genuine impression and also makes people more adapted, which is something we should all understand, which is adapt to the circumstances someone has been living for so many years.
Well, thank you, Diego, for all of this kind of stuff. And now that we already hear all of these things, I think it's time for us to start wondering how to eradicate these kind of problems that we are actually facing. And I think that the easiest way to do this is to start learning from other cultures, and since like a really young age, because to be honest, these kind of issues and these kind of topics, you don't know about them from many years, and suddenly when you're a teenager or when you're starting to grow up, suddenly the schools or books or stories, they are trying to introduce it to you. But I think that it's the wrong part, because when you're already a grown man, you already have some ideas encoded on inside of you, and in most of the times, call it ideas or religions or a your culture itself, it doesn't allow you to have an open mind to accept other cultures, and that is when the real problem begins, because you start to maybe reject other people that come from other countries or cultures, and that have different traditions than you, etc. So in my point of view, I think that the easiest way to eradicate this is that we teach our children, our future generations, these kind of topics in their childhood, because if we do that, they will grow up knowing about this kind of stuff. And when they meet someone from other country or with different skin color or with different traditions, it will be easier for them to accept them and to accept them. And well, yeah, that is my opinion about this. So yeah, we should start teaching our future generations about cultural awareness.
Thank you, Bruno, for that. And in general, we can say that education is necessary for young age so that people don't judge and understand about external cultures in order to be a more culture country. Um, we also need to prepare teachers on on the subject, because it is well known that lack of the culture is manifested in older people. By being cultural aware, we can recognize and appreciate the values and customs and benefits of other cultures and get to know them without judging or prejudicing them. When we are culturally aware, we can know that is considered appropriate or offensive to others. Incorrectly body language often leads to misunderstandings. Normally, we see the world through a distorted screen created by our own subconscious and our deeply held values and benefits. This leads us to insensibility and possible uninternational illness to value the more important to members of other cultures. As we know, all the cultures are important, no matter why, no matter how. This is why we must expose ourselves, observe, and get in touch with other cultures around us. One of the most authentic ways to get known new cultures is to attend festivals of cultural events. And here you can see how different people express themselves through music, food, and art. And it's all.
And now we will start with the question segment. Now, the first question goes, why are diverse stories important? Well, they are really important because it opens up new ways to see things and also give us more knowledge about how different people interact with things or situation we, as a different culture, normally live.
So the next question is like this: how do stories help us know more about the world. Well, actually, sometimes it's the only way that it's the only way we know about some other cultures, because in our community, rarely we will see someone from other culture or from other country, and if that's the case, they want to be able to tell us more about them and how they live and maybe some traditions or something like that. So in most of the cases, stories are the only way we have to know about other countries, other traditions, and other cultures in general. So yes, that's the second question.
The last question goes like, can we improve our cultural awareness through stories? Why or why not? Well, yes, but we need to make a genuine because if we tell stories just like stereotypical things, we may people think that our only interests are the ones people tell them about, which it can be more than what they know or why they need to take sure stories are told are told in genuine way. As we know, these stories is our way to see a new culture, and is very important that we know about a little of the culture and know and use our imagination to see these stories and see these like a better way.